have such a great parallel story. I have to tell you, when I was an ensign, the lowest level of naval officers, I get sent out on my first deployment, and it's on a destroyer called the Comte Gras. And she ends up coming out into the Mediterranean late because she was the first Navy vessel in over 100 years that, outside of being in wartime, had been sabotaged. So I get on the ship, and I've never been in any organization before or after where the morale was so low. You barely even saw the commanding officer. He knew he was losing his job, and all he did was sit in a stateroom all day and sulk. And while I was there, not only did we lose him, we lost the executive officer and the engineering officer as well, because the petty officer involved in the sabotage had been part of the engineering department. And then, fast forward, I get on my next ship, which is the USS Kidd. Both of them are destroyers. And I remember meeting our commanding officer, and he was just all in. You could feel his passion, and you could feel the passion throughout the ship. And he basically treated you that if you had a specialty, you were numero uno in his mind. He's going to put you in charge, trust your judgment, etc. And I was on the ship for about 2.5 months. And I remember one day I was standing in the command and control center, and there were two OSA gunships who, out of nowhere, decided to open up their Scud missile doors, pointing their missiles right at us. And we go into general quarters, and then he looks at me and he says, "John, what do you think I should do? Should I take them out, or do you think this is purely posturing on their part?" And I happened to be the intelligence officer on board, and I had the best perspective from everything that I had been studying on what I thought the threat posture was. And I told him that I think that he's just posturing. And so we ended up doing nothing. And fortunately, that's what it turned out to be. To be honest, it showed me how much confidence a senior officer could have in you and what it meant to be guided by a leader who actually believed in you, compared to the opposite that I had previously been encountered with. How do you think a leader's passion and authenticity play a role in their success?
Yeah, exactly that. I'm going to go back to David Marquette's book because it resonates with me, and we can talk about it in some private institutions too. But in David Marquette's book, one of the things he changed as the commander of the ship was, instead of people asking permission, may I increase throttle by 10%, permission granted, became, I intend to increase throttle by 10%, proved. What's interesting is in that subtle language change, people are coming with authority and control. And so they feel more sense of control. It's not that they have to sulk or bow down to an authority. They're simply now becoming a collaborative. And that's what sounded like in your situation too, is a collaborative. And he allowed you to exert authority and control over where your domain of knowledge is and collaborated with you, taking your ideas. That's what great leaders do. So in private organizations, the danger is micromanagement. And it still exists today. Most businesses, particularly small businesses, are restricted in their growth specifically because of the leader of that organization. The vast majority, I think it's over 97, maybe it's 98% of businesses will never have more than 3 full-time employees plus the owner. And the reason is because the owner is making all the decisions and controlling everything. There's a Hindu goddess named Kali. And this Hindu goddess is a figure, it's a female's head with 6 arms. You've probably seen it before. And that's what we become as a business. We become one mind, the owner, that says, do this, do that, do this. And the typewriter ring, goes back, do this, do that, and keeps repeating. Their work schedule, I tell them, I'm like, if you're doing that, you have a 9 to 5 work schedule. And I'm not saying 9 in the morning to 5 o'clock at night. I'm saying you only work at 9 o'clock at night till 5 in the morning. That's the 9 to 5, because during the rest of the day, you're inserting yourself in all the decision-making. You're a micromanager. And that diminishes trust, any form of trust. Basically, people are being programmed, if you will, through repetition that I don't trust you to make any decisions. Just do what my instruction set is and wait for the next instruction. And that inherently limits the growth and the health of any organization. So what we need to do as leaders is give people control and authority. Not 100%. This is something that becomes collaborative, but give people control, authority. Give people the ability to personalize things. Again, not 100%, not a free reign, but give them the ability to give it their own flavor. Give them the ability to gain intimate knowledge. The reason we don't want to just abandon things, that's called abdication. So micromanagement is dangerous, but also is abdication. Abdication is like, it's yours, just run with it. And then there's no accountability. In abdication, people start building fiefdoms, their own kind of territory, and they block other people out. So what we want to do is a little bit of the Goldilocks. We want to get that oatmeal just right, or whatever she was eating, the right temperature. We shouldn't micromanage. We shouldn't abdicate. But what we should do is agree to outcomes and observe the outcomes. Where do you intend in your role in this company, in this organization? Where do you intend to take us? What do you intend to achieve for yourself? What's your vision for yourself? And then keep pointing back to that outcome and allow people to navigate the path there on their own accord, but always stick with that outcome. That's what a great leader does.